Hey, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Today's the 6th of April. It's a real nice day out. First real spring day that we've had since last spring, I think. Okay, I want to cover a few things in this video. A lot of people want to kind of know where we're at. As you remember, the declaratory ruling was found unconstitutional by Judge Thomas Sulka from Marquette County. The DNR has made statements that it only pertains to the people in Marquette County, but that's absolute hogwash, because if it's unconstitutional in Marquette County, it's unconstitutional in Missaukee County. Alright, so it's unconstitutional throughout the state. Actually, unconstitutional is unconstitutional, so it would probably carry throughout the United States. However, this declaratory ruling is only a statewide deal. Okay, so the declaratory ruling is unconstitutional. This is a document that proves that. This is Judge Sulka's opinion. And now we're waiting to see if our good buddies at the Department of Natural Resources are going to appeal his decision. I feel really good about this because all along I have told you that the declaratory ruling is unconstitutional. You can't take somebody's property without due process of law, and that is the Fifth Amendment. Okay, I can't tell you how important it is to get that Constitution, at least the Bill of Rights, and know that, make it yours. Because in this case, if I hadn't have done that, I don't think the Constitution would have ever come into the conversation. Right? So you have to be the one that pulls that sword and then start swinging it, because nobody's going to do it for you. Okay, so the next thing is this letter from Kevin Daly. He's one of our representatives, and he put forth a letter urging the governor to repeal the declaratory ruling and the invasive species order. Why wouldn't he? It's unconstitutional. Our governor, of course, would want to make sure that everything that's in place is constitutional, right? Okay, so what we have now is we no longer have a pig issue. Okay, so it's no longer whether we have feral pigs. It's no longer whether we have a pig with a straight tail, curly tail, whether a pink pig is a feral pig. That is not the question anymore. That's not the argument anymore. The argument now is, will our lawmakers come down on the correct side of the Constitution? Right? There's two sides. You're either for it or you're against it. Right? That's it. That's it. You can't be like a pinch of constitutionality. You're either on board with the Constitution or you are not. And I believe that if there's a question in your mind whether the Constitution, whether you should be with it or against it, just read it. Just read it. Okay? Because I know people that will say, well, maybe socialism would work better than what we have going in our country right now. No, it wouldn't. What would work really good in our country right now is if people followed the Constitution, period. Just the Bill of Rights. That's all. We'd all be fine. All right? Everything would work itself out. Instead, politicians like to talk about issues, about stuff that we really don't care about. Most of us don't really care about it, Okay. The next thing is, with this daily letter, we have 28 of our representatives that have signed it. 28, including Kevin Daly. There are 110 in the state of Michigan. So what people need to do is call their representative and say, have you signed the daily letter? And if they start talking to you about feral pigs, say, no, this is not about feral pigs, this is about the Constitution. Are you for it or against it? Okay, that's all, period. And you're not going to talk to the representative most likely, but you talk to one of the aides and you say, I would like Representative so-and-so to sign the daily letter, or he can send his own letter to the governor to ask him to repeal it. And if he won't do it, you're going to have to request from him, demand in writing why he won't do it. And you're going to have to follow it up, because we already have one guy, Johnson, from over here in Clare, that wants to talk about pigs still. And it's not about pigs. It's about the Constitution. So you're going to have to hold their feet to the fire, and this is the winnowing screen that you can decide whether or not you want to vote for these people ever again. If they are not going to be on board with the Constitution, then you need to vote them out. Out. Okay? Next order of business. The last video that was up, that was made by Kyle Miron. Excellent video. I was speaking at a thing called a powwow. It's a whole bunch of Tea Party people that come together. And let me explain what the Tea Party is, because I know there's a lot of misconceptions about the Tea Party. What the Tea Party is, and I had them too, but what the Tea Party is people that want our government to go back to the Constitution. That's what it is. Now, you'll have factions of them that are heavily GOP. There are even factions that are Democrat. And I don't really care. I'm not with either outfit. I am with the Constitution. Let me tell you why. If Judge Sulka had not ruled that the declaratory ruling is unconstitutional, then I would have had to agree with people that I hear on the radio, people that I'm told I hear about on TV. We don't have TV here, but people tell me that say we do not have a Constitution anymore. The Constitution is dead. I would have had to agree with that, because the declaratory ruling is clearly a violation of the Fifth Amendment. There's no doubt about it. And Judge Sulka ruled that way. It was really easy. A fifth grader could figure it out, should be able to figure it out. And see, that's the problem. Why do we have to go to a district court to decide whether or not something is unconstitutional or not? We should be able to just read this ourselves and then call up the DNR and say, you can't do this. This is against the Constitution per this amendment. So I'm not going to do it. And there's nothing you can do. And that's the truth. That's what the 10th Amendment is all about. Talk about that later. Okay, in that last video, I was pretty rough on leadership here in Michigan. Let me explain that, because some people don't quite get it. The three people that we talked about in that video were the governor, all right? And let me tell you why. The Department of Natural Resources is a regulatory agency that works directly for Governor Snyder, all right? So the governor has his little cabinet of directors of different departments, and one of those departments is the Department of Natural Resources. Those guys work directly for the governor. There was so much flack. There was such a sandstorm over it. The governor could have just said, let me look at this. And the governor should have looked at the declaratory ruling and said, whoa, this is unconstitutional. But he did not. That's why I say he has to go. Because even if he changes his mind and squashes the declaratory ruling, the fact that he did it, all right, that he let it progress as far as it did, the state spent $10 million on it. We spent, not a tenth of that, but we didn't spend $1 million, but we spent a lot of money defending ourselves against that. It shouldn't have happened. It really shouldn't. It was wasted time, wasted money, right? So that's why I say he's got to go. He's a poor leader, right? The next guy was obviously Bill Schuette. He's the Attorney General. And I was really rough on him too, but here's why. This guy is an attorney, right? He is the Attorney General. He is voted in by the people, all right? He's accountable to the people, me, you. He's supposed to reel in regulatory agencies when they get out of hand, i.e., if they do something that squashes somebody's constitutional rights, their possessions, life, liberty, pursuit of property, right? They squash into that. He's supposed to reel that in. He's saying the opposite. He's saying that, no, my job is to defend the DNR. My job is to help the DNR to ruin your rights. So that's skewed 180 degrees where it's supposed to be. That's why I say he has to go. There's no two ways around it. If he doesn't understand what his job is, he has got to go, all right? So I think most people are clear on that, but that's why I've been really hard on him. And the third one is my county sheriff. Now, this is a tough one. People really have a hard time understanding this, but let me explain what the authority of the county sheriff is. The county sheriff is very similar to the governor. county sheriff is similar to the governor of the county. In Michigan, we have 83 separate counties. Each one of them has a county sheriff. It's an administrative position. Yeah, the deputies report to him through the undersheriff, and the coroner reports to him, dispatch reports to him, the jail reports to him. You know, there's several sections that he is in charge of. When this first started, and we had the declaratory ruling in hand, this is back in 2011, my wife and I called the county sheriff and said, we've got something to talk to you about. Made an appointment. Went up to his office, sat in his office, and I wanted to hand this to him, but he did not want to take it from my hand. And even if he had, he was not willing to intervene. All right. What he should have done is taken this from my hand, the declaratory ruling. If he couldn't figure out, you know, what the big words mean, then what he should do is give it to the county prosecutor. The county prosecutor is very similar to the attorney general, right? He's the attorney for the county, right? And the prosecutor, who's an attorney, would read this and say, "Oh yeah, Fifth Amendment, that's not going to work, not going to work." And the county sheriff's responsibility is to call down to the Capitol and say, "Hey, you're going to have to look at this because it's not going to work." And I'm sure at that point the DNR would say, "We've got a county sheriff that's going to stand in our way." But my county sheriff would not. He would not engage, and still has never engaged. He's called my residence one time, and that was to tell me that if I had a problem here, that he would be here. You know, he would be here for me. And that was after we got a lot of pressure from across the country of other people that understand the county sheriff's responsibility, and were on him. But he, as soon as I did need him, when we had people on the property at night, he refused to come. He said, "Call me in the morning if you still have a problem." So he has not done his job. He has not done his job correctly. So if he will not stand for the Constitution, then we cannot keep him in office. Because in this case, yeah, it was pigs, but they are our private property, right? What if it were, don't say firearms. What if it were firearms? Look what's going on in Connecticut right now. They're threatening to pick up people's firearms. Well, that would definitely be unconstitutional, would it not? Second Amendment, the right to own and bear arms. Own. You can't take people's firearms. It doesn't matter what they look like or how many rounds they hold. You can't do it per the Constitution. And if that order came down from on high, even from a state level, the county sheriff's responsibility is to say, "Sorry, not happening in my county. I'm not going to do it. And I will protect the people who live in this county." That's the responsibility of the county sheriff, is to protect the Bill of Rights of the people that live in the county. Period. And if he won't do that, he's got to go. He's got to go. And he's been reminded of that several times by people in the community. Not going to do it. So that's it. That's why that video is out there. I want to explain a little. And I'm running short on time here, so I'm going to sign off here. It's Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Remember, anyone can farm. Thanks.